What's up, everybody? Crash here. Welcome back to Crash Against the Spread, where we talk about sports from a betting perspective. It is Wednesday, December 4th, and we have some NBA to talk about today. I gave out 3 plays yesterday, and we went 1 and 2. By the time I was able to check it, I was hoping for a 3-0. Everything looked good. One game was about to end. 2 of them were wrapping up the third quarter. The Charlotte Hornets were down 4 with under a minute left, and went back and forth. I'm only watching it on my phone because I'm at work. 9 seconds left, down 4. They end up losing the game by 6. So I think it was a crazy inbound pass. I heard something like that, but I'm not really sure. But we lose that one at the end for sure. The total in the Pacers and Raptors game looked good in the third. They were at 90-something, 80-something going into the fourth. They just underscored 27-29 versus the 60 points that were scored in the third and second quarters and the 54 that were scored in the first quarter. So just a little more defense, tired legs, clamp down style, whatever. Got us a loss in that one, got to 233 instead of 238. Knicks did roll at home on the Magic, though. That was our only win of the day. Like I said, all 3 of those had a shot. So on to today, we're looking at 6 games in the NBA. Let's start with the Lakers and the Heat. Lakers have been in a slump. They are 5-5 straight up in their last 10 games, 2-8 against the spread. In their last 5, they lost to the Suns, 127-100. They beat the Spurs, they beat the Jazz, they lost to the Thunder by 8, and they lost to the Timberwolves by 29. So 2 blowouts in there. They only covered the 1 game against the Spurs, which they won. They still didn't cover the Jazz game. They only beat them by 1. Miami is 5-5 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. Both these teams have played a lot of games in the last, I think it's 7 games in the last 11 days. But Miami's at home. I think Miami has the upper hand being at home. The injury list is a little longer. For the Lakers, I see Anthony Davis on there. Bronny James is on there. So everybody, Bronny is out. Reeves, Vanderbilt, Hayes, LeBron James played in the last game, scored 10 points. Apparently he's been in the slump. He did score 27 versus, the Timberwolves? The Jazz. He scored 27 versus the Jazz, but there's been 10 points versus the Timberwolves, 12 points versus the Thunder, 16 versus the Spurs, 18 versus the Suns, 18 versus the Nuggets, and unfortunately, they're counting on him for 20, 30 points a night to carry this team to whatever type of goal that they have for the end of the season. So that's not going to get it done. Miami at home with a 2.5 point, 2 possession favorite. I think they can get it done. So we are going to, plus I'll probably be watching that game. So we are going to go Heat -2.5. Maybe an under. Head-to-head, their last 4 games have gone under. Lakers were 6-0 to the under in their last 6 games. Or I guess it would be 0-6 to the under. And Miami's playing a lot of under games too, depending on the competition. 2 Raptors games that they played back-to-back would have gone over this total, but the surrounding games would have gone under. So they would have gone under against the Bucks, the Hornets, and the Celtics under this low 216 number. So Heat and under if I had to pick both, which I know I don't. Pacers, Nets. Pacers, I haven't really been able to catch them this season. Every time I bet on them, they lose. I would have favored them in yesterday's game, but I took the over instead, and that lost as well as the Pacers. So I doubt I'll be betting this game. They both have the same record. Pacers are 9-13. Nets are 9-13. Nets do have the better spread record. They're 13-8-1 against the spread. So, but only 4-5 at home this season. Pacers are 2-10 on the road. You know, nothing to really grasp here without having seen these teams play, which I have not yet this season. We have the longer injury report for Brooklyn. So they are missing Williams, Cam Thomas, Clowney, and Bogdanovich all out. Finney Smith is day-to-day, Ben Simmons day-to-day, and Cam Johnson day-to-day. So staying off this game, like I said, don't really have a good lean or feel for either one of those teams right now. Magic and 76ers. 76ers are 3.5-point home underdogs. I think we're coming into a situation where we're on a back-to-back. So we got to look at Joel Embiid. I think Paul George might be questionable also. There was something about what he said at the end of last game that he wanted to play. He was a little sore, but they'd have to wait and see. So I don't see him on the injury report right now. Sixers are coming off 2 wins, but they're coming off 2 wins against the Hornets and the Pistons. So just lost to the Rockets and the Clippers. They beat Brooklyn. Then they lost 5 straight before that to the Grizzlies, Heat, Magic, Cavs, and the Knicks. So 3 wins in the last 10 games against the Nets, Pistons, and the Hornets. And 4 covers, one of those being against the Cavs, where they lost by 8 as 11-point dogs. So, kind of want to fade the Sixers. Magic coming off a loss. They're 8-2 straight up and 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. Losing to the Clippers, then turn around to beat the Lakers on the road, both of those games. Lost to the Knicks yesterday. I expect them to get up for this game and probably beat the Sixers team. I think we're just missing Ben Carroll maybe and Harris. So Joel Embiid day-to-day, Andre Drummond out. So on the Magic, Magic 3.5-point road favorites in this one. So Magic minus 3.5. Pistons Celtics. Celtics are 13.5-point favorites. Staying off that game. Pistons just coming off a big loss to the Bucks in the Cup game. Celtics last played Miami in Boston, winning 108-89. I think they'll win this game. I don't know if they really get up and care about it. You know, the thing about these games is best team versus a up-and-coming team, bottom feeder type of team. If it is a blowout in the fourth quarter, will the starters be in it all? So I think Jason Tatum might be on the report day-to-day with the knee injury. Holiday is also on the report day-to-day. So doesn't look like Holiday played last game. Tatum did, though. Detroit is just missing Clinton. Everybody else should be good to go. So it's a spot where I think Detroit might be able to cover this game at some point in time. So I don't necessarily want to bet it, but I don't want to lay 13 points with the Celtics either. So Hawks, Bucks. I like the over. I don't want to bet on the Hawks. And Bucks have been playing better recently. But let's look at who they've beaten. They have beaten Raptors, Pistons, lost to the Hornets. They beat the Rockets by 1. They beat the Bulls. They beat the Pacers this season. That's, kind of mid-level good win. They beat the Hornets again. They beat the Heat by 3. They beat the Wizards by 10. And the Pistons again. So, played the Pistons twice, the Hornets twice, the Wizards, Raptors, Pacers in here. This is not the murderer's row, but before that, they had pretty much lost all those games. So they were 9-1 in their last 10 games. Their record is 11-9. So before this, they were 2-8, if my math works out. So not really going to give them a parade for this recent part of the schedule. Next, they got the Celtics, the Nets, and Cleveland. So let's see what happens in this Hawks game. I would expect them to win at home against the Hawks. But I like the over better. So I'm going to pay attention to the game. Bet the over, 236.5. Last game up, we got the Timberwolves and the Clippers. Clippers are home underdogs, 2.5 points. They're 14-9 on the season. Minnesota's 10-10. Anthony Edwards just had to call out his team, calling them a bunch of soft little kids. And they won back-to-back against the Clippers and the Lakers. They beat the Clippers by 1, and they beat the Lakers, who are kind of struggling right now, by 29. So Clippers, immediate revenge. Clippers have played 2 games since. They won both against the Nuggets and the Blazers. And they're back at home for this one. They played that last one in Minnesota. So I'm going to lead on the Clippers with the immediate revenge back at home. So plus 2.5 for the Clippers. This season they are 9-5-1 against the spread as a underdog. So that's a pretty good trend leading their way. But like I said, this will be a good day for me to pay attention to all these games, watch them live, and see what happens. So that's what we're going to be on. My official plays are going to be Heat minus 2.5, Magic minus 3.5, Clippers plus 2.5, and the over 236.5 in the Bucks and Hawks game. So lock those in. Let's get this money. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more NBA, I believe. No, we're going to do the NFL game. We're going to do the Packers and the Lions tomorrow. So lock that in. Let's get this money. We'll see you tomorrow for NFL.